it's a saying that's going on that I've been hearing for the last few years. And when we're going through something, people say life.
Yeah, what they say.
It's lifing. I said, okay, I'm going to have to preach about that one day. So as I was, getting my sermon together and, thinking about who I can talk about, I said the perfect person to talk about is Job. Because life really was life for Job. And for all that Job went through, my God. I don't think, man. So, I was going to get Ella to read the whole chapter, but I ain't going to get him to read the whole chapter because it's a lot of essence in this first chapter alone to talk about life be life. So, Ella, if you could read verses 1, because it's just the beginning of, when you say yes to God, like they say, Evidence was saying that you got to say no to a lot of things.
Yes, sir.
But also, when you say yes to God, you got to understand there's going to be trials and tribulation that come your way. And are you going to be able to withstand the storm? Just because you say yes don't mean everything's going to be peaches and cream.
That's right.
That don't mean everything's going to go the way that you planned it to go. You might be trying to go left and God say go right. So, Ella, you can start at verse number 1 through 5. Job chapter 1. Job chapter 1. Job chapter 1.
There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. And that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil.
All right, hold it right there. Remember that, y'all. He was perfect. He was upright. He feared God, he respected God,
yes,
and he eschewed evil. Assured me to stay away from. So right. Job stayed away from evil. Go ahead, Ella.
And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters.
Got a big family, y'all.
That's pretty good.
Go ahead.
His substance also was 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East.
Hold it right there, y'all. Y'all heard it? He was the greatest of the men of the East. So I asked myself a question. What made Job the greatest man of the East? As I did my research and my study, it said because he was rich and righteous.
Yeah. All right.
So you can be rich and still be righteous.
Look out, look out, look out, man. All right, man.
Go ahead,
And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned, and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continue.
All right, now I heard that, right? Job, them sons. He got 7 sons, 3 daughters. So, guess what? They feasting every day. So, but this particular day, they had the eldest brother house. And Job was so righteous that he didn't even participate with his children when they were feasting.
All right.
He didn't want to be a part of it. So then I asked myself another question. What did it mean when Job sent and sanctified his children? And through my study and research, he sent them to the place that was appointed to be sanctified.
All right.
So every day, Job sent his children to the place where they could be a sacrifice, or whatever. So, every day this is what he did. Every day, because why? As they was feasting, he said that they cursed God in their heart. So he wanted to make sure that they was good after they did all this feasting.
Yeah.
And he did this every day. Okay. Now, as we go on through this chapter, and I'm going to go hit bits and pieces or whatnot. And so then the next verse it say that the angels go up to meet God.
Yes, sir.
Guess who come with them?
The wicked one.
Guess who with them? Satan.
Yeah.
Satan come up there, meeting with them this way, meeting with God this way. Now, y'all, this is really, really something serious. When the enemy go up to God, and God say, have you tried my servant Job? Now, ooh, that's mean, but God put you out there. God put you out there. He put him out there.
All right.
And the devil said, when God said, where you coming from, Satan? He said, oh, I'm just coming through, throwing the earth, walking up and down in it. In other words, he's looking to see who can he distract from God.
That's right.
Now, as I'm studying and reading, though, it looked like he had his eye on Job anyway.
Yes, you did.
But he couldn't get to Job.
All right.
He couldn't get to him.
Look right.
Right?
Right.
And so, like I said, you got to be very special for God to choose you to be tested.
All right.
You
Yes,
got to be very special for God to choose you to be tested.
All right.
I'm like, woo, man, Job. Okay. Then go on down the story or whatever. Now when so Job he tried to be smart. He said, "Come on, God. Now how can I get to Job? You got a hedge all around him.
Yeah.
You gotta protect him.
You gotta protect him.
How can I get to him when you gotta protect him or whatever?" He said, "Okay, you can do whatever you want to do to Job, but don't kill him." So, and so God, so then he did try to be funny, he threw a little joke in there. He said, you mean tell me God, Job don't fear you for nothing?
Yeah.
He don't fear you for nothing? You mean nothing he don't fear you for? So, okay. Now when he told, when God gave him permission, guess what? He immediately called his homeboy. He called him up, hey y'all, we got a job. God will let down the hedges around Job. And guess what? He said we can touch everything except him. And guess what? This is when life began to start lifing for Job.
Yes, it did.
It started lifing now. Now, I'm talking to myself. I said, okay, that's the way the enemy go up and accuse us to God. That's how he goes up.
You got it, son.
That's how he goes up. He accuses us. Oh man, God, he don't love you like that, man. Come on, man. You do this here.
Come on,
X,
now.
Y, and Z.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So, let me slow down a little bit. So, let me see where I'm at.
Bless him, Lord. Take your time.
Yeah, okay. And so, as they did that, right, he called his homeboy, right? He called the civilians, which are raiders, meaning people that come to your territory.
Right.
Not to their territory, but your territory, and take over your territory. Right? And so, they begin. Now, they killed all his substance and his servant, but guess what? One was somewhere, I don't know if they were high or what, but they came in, I don't know if somebody got scared and hid behind the table or something, but one was left. One was left after every event.
Bring back the report.
To bring back the report.
Yeah, sir.
Now, I don't know how many of us can take one bad report.
Lord.
But they said, as one talking, another
Somebody else
comes right
coming.
back and saying something else. Then he talking, somebody else coming
Somebody
up,
else coming.
and saying something else again. Then here come the fourth one. Now this is really the killer. Now I think Job has been looking all right by losing his substance. But when you say all the children, John, all the children, dead. Say a strong wind came to get all 4 corners of the house and took their children. Y'all, that's life. Be life. If we have news like that, y'all, I'm talking about me. I don't know if I could be up here right now.
Talk, man.
That's right.
Be honest.
To lose everything that I got, including my children, man, I would be devastated. So y'all, when we say life be life, I want y'all to always keep Job in your mind. All right. Always keep out what we go through. You know, we have a flat. You know, the bill might be due, money might be a little funny. You know, we got a little sickness in our body. And boy, we we have a fit.
All
I
right.
know what Elder Steve said last week. He said, you know, he had to ask God for forgiveness because he was going through something and he wasn't doing what he's supposed to do for
That's
God.
what he said.
And that's what a lot of us do. When we going through something, we would stop talking to God. We would stop seeking God. We would
Come on,
stop
son.
praying. We would stop fasting. We would even stop coming to church
Right.
when we going through something in life. And that's when you need to come to church. That's when you really need to come to the hospital
That's right.
so you can get that IV.
Praise God.
My God.
Come on, man.
Right. Yes, sir. And so, after all this here, he killed. Now, I did ask a question. I said, now, God, the devil killed all his children and the son. So where's the wife? Where the wife at? Why he didn't kill the wife? So as I did a little research, the reason he didn't kill the wife, because when her and Job married, they became one.
Talk, man.
And so because God told him don't kill Job,
Couldn't touch it.
they couldn't touch the
God.
wife.
Go,
Praise
go.
God.
Work it out. Work it out. Work it out, Elder.
Boy, so that's a blessing in disguise right there within itself. So all us married people, guess what? When the husband, when God said don't touch the husband, guess what? He can't touch the wife either. Why? Because
They
she's
won.
one.
Praise God.
Man, cause I was always wondering like where the wife was at. They killed everybody except the wife. Okay, now I understand why they didn't kill the wife. Okay, now he got all this bad news, right? He got all this bad news. So now Job, let me see where I'm going. Now this is when Job, you know, he got all this bad news. Now he don't know what to do.
Right.
So what he do now, he just take everything off. He just rip his clothes.
Yes, sir.
He
Yeah,
take
yeah.
everything off.
Take it off.
He take it off. And that's the verse number 19. So rent his mantle means that he was unclothed and possessed for nothing. And his mantle was a priestly robe cape. It's a cape. It hung around his neck and it hung to the ground. So he took that off, took all his clothes off. Shaved his head means that he returned before God as a newborn infant.
Talk something.
Fell down on the ground and worship means he had come into the world naked and without nothing today. He has returned to God
Talk,
as
man.
if a newborn
Talk,
child.
man. Yeah.
Right.
Talk, man.
All right. Number 21 says, read that for me, Elder John, 21, verse 21.
And he said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
Yeah, bless God.
Y'all see that? Through it all, he still
Bless God.
blessed God.
Yeah.
He still blessed God. Now, I don't know too many of us have blessed God at that time.
That's
Come on
right.
now.
I don't know too many of us
Come
would
on
give
now.
God
Come
some
on now,
praise
shout.
at that time.
All right.
As Mr. Evans, I was saying, we got a lot of questions at that time.
All right. Yes,
Why
sir.
me? Why this? And
Why?
Why not you?
Uh-huh.
But I know that's the human nature in us.
That's right.
That's the flesh.
That's right.
That's what's going to come out.
Uh-huh.
So I had to look up the word thither. I thought it meant something else.
All right.
But thither means that place, means back in his mother's womb. Not, thither means that place.
Okay.
Am I saying it right? Yeah, to that place. And that place was back in his mother's womb. That's where he wanted to go.
Lord have mercy.
Or whatever, you know what I mean? And all that right there. And so, so I asked myself, I said, why say, okay, I got to that part already. I said that. All right. And then you go down, now this is the part right here that's really, is good.
All right.
Now through it all, verse 22. Read that for me, Elder. Verse
In
22.
all this, Job sinned not, nor charged
Wow.
God foolishly.
He didn't
Didn't
sin,
bring up.
and he did
My
not charge God
Didn't charge
foolishly.
God.
How many of us would have charged God foolishly?
Human nature.
Now,
Good minister.
Now that, you know, that's a mean thing when you can still bless God and not charge him. After all that. Now life is life. He done lost everything. He done lost everything. Man, that's life be life. It's a good saying, but we need to make sure we understand what it really means to be life And then you go on to chapter 2. Chapter 2 goes on talking about how Satan went back. He said, okay, you did that. I guarantee you touch his body, I guarantee you he'll curse you.
That's what he said.
So guess what? Now Job got boils all over his body.
My God.
Now, here comes a wife. Now, husbands, now they say it's good to listen to your wife. But at this time,
Oh, come on now.
at this time, Job was a wise man. She told him, why would you just curse? You gonna keep your integrity? Why don't you just curse God and die?
It's gonna get over.
He
Get
said,
it over with.
he said, now you talking like a foolish woman.
Yeah.
In other words, he rebuked her. Because a lot of wives might, when they lost all their children, and going through all their children,
They ain't, brother.
it don't tell you what they might say out their emotions. You know what I mean? And so he said, you talking like a foolish woman. Man. Woo. Why? Don't give y'all husband no bad advice like that when y'all going through something. Don't, if y'all going through something, why? Always pray for your husband.
Yes, sir.
Always pray for him. Don't, if you ain't got nothing good to say at that time, guess what? Say, okay, let me go into prayer. God, fix my mouth, fix my lip, so that I can uplift my husband. Okay, and then God allowed Satan to test Job to protect Job's love for God, and thereby being about a greater good. In the process, God never abandons Job, but draw him closer through his ordeal. So everything Job went through, it drew him closer to God. Now, as you read Job, and I got to, do some more reading myself and go back over some things, but Job did get in his feeling now, and he did start questioning God. He started questioning God. He did question God now. He got in his feelings. Or whatnot. And despite the severe trial, Job's steadfast faith in God shines through serving as a powerful reminder that faith is not circumstance, but about trust in God's divine power. So we should have faith according to our circumstances. How we got a little money, our health is good, we got a nice job, we got a nice car, we got a nice home, and so now I got a lot of faith.
All right.
And then when lifestyle life, now my faith done went out the window. It went from full to empty.
All right.
Just that faith.
My God.
Just that faith.
That happens.
And this, we sit in the preacher's office, and they really were kind of hitting on my sermon a little bit too. When they say Romans 8:28, and they say, and we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God, to them who are the called. Now, you hear that scripture? You hear it say, according to the call to God. It said the call. See, when people say that scripture, I think they leave out the call according to His purpose. So when you are called, when God called you, that means everything you go through is going to work together for your good. He said, for the call. And I read that, I said, okay, I got that now. Okay, I understand a little bit better now. The call. Not just anybody. The called one.
That's right.
When you are going through something, it's working together for our good. Amen. Y'all, I'm about to wrap it up in a minute.
You did good.
But I'm telling y'all, life do be life. And I went through a little trial in my life. I go from making over $250,000 cutting grass.
All right.
Oh man, God showed His hand. He showed up and showed out.
All right.
I said, okay, I love this here. I'm getting $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 check deposit a month. Now I ain't never made that in my whole life.
All right. Yo, minister.
And then here we go. The very next year, fell off. starts snowing up, equipment ain't working, I gotta do this, money funny, bills still coming in, all this going, life just like it for me right now.
All right.
But I'm gonna tell you something though, when life is life, you need to be around people that can give you some spiritual wisdom. You can't get around people that do not know God and have not been through nothing.
All right.
Because, as y'all read on, or whatever, all the advice that Joe's friend was giving him, it really made it worse.
My God.
It really made it worse. So, y'all, when you're going through something, call somebody. Somebody pray for you. Somebody you know that can get a prayer for you. You can't tell your issues to everybody. You can't tell your issues to everybody. So my business going up and down, man, I'm talking about I'm struggling. I talked to an apostle. He said, well, son, maybe you just need to get you a job and do what you can until you able to do what you want. I'm like, dang, well, God told me though. In the dream, God told me I'm gonna be cutting hospitals or whatever. So I had to learn. It's on His time though. So that's what I've been doing for the last 3 seasons, going back to the warehouses, getting jobs so I can have some income coming in the fall time. So I didn't complain about it, just kept on doing it. But, I told my cousin Elder, I said, man, it's a beautiful thing to do ministry with your family.
All right.
It's beautiful. Now, Elder, like I told y'all before, when I started Bible study, he didn't call me. I called him. Every week when we having studies. Because he wanted to see was I serious or not. He didn't want to do the calling, asking me. He wanted to see how serious I was. But I just love how my cousin just poured into me. Now he hard on me now. He hard on me. Now, he hard. Now, I got to be on point. Because for one, I'm representing him too. You know what I mean? I'm representing him. You know what I mean? His teaching and his tutoring. You know what I mean? What he had poured into me. So anytime, you represent somebody, you want to represent well. You know what I mean? When you represent God, you want to represent well. Just like an apostle. Guess what? It's certain things we better not do when we apostle, when we with him. All right. Because guess what? We represent him. And if we do anything that's outside the line, we definitely gonna hear you. Now I ain't never been to that library, and I definitely don't want to go. But I've heard stories about the library. But when you represent someone, you want to represent to the best way
That's
that
right,
you
best of your
can.
ability.
Best of your ability, or whatnot. And now I believe the tide is turning for me. My truck, it's still working. Like I said, it's still doing some tapping. I put some hope oil down, the oil anointed the motor. I said, Lord, let this truck keep on working until I get all the funds I need to put it in shop. But I need another truck too, though. And so I went to the truck lot. I had been looking for a truck anyway for the last few years, but I got turned down every time, when I went to look for a truck. But this particular time, I go look for a truck. I walk out with no money down. With my truck.
Yes, sir.
Business is starting to pick up. I'm doing work, and one guy that I cut grass for, he worked for the city of Memphis. All right. And he's like, man, I need to put you, get you to do some work for the city. I said, yeah. I said, well, I'm kind of wait because I ain't really got no crew right now. You know what I mean? I said, but if you can throw me about 30 yards, I think I can maintain that. You know what I'm saying? Or what I got. So I'm waiting on God to give me an answer on that. You know what I mean? So, there can be some more income and business kind of, turn it around for me. So I just thank God because even through the storm, I was trying to be faithful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I might not be the person, but I was trying to stay focused and committed to God so I can see that. I'm so scared to do certain things because I don't know when my blessing gonna come. You know what I mean? I don't know my blessing right here, over there. But when I do something, I might push it back a few years. And I'm tired of my blessings being pushed back because of my disobedience. So I'm just trying to stay in the will of God. But I'm gonna leave y'all with this right here. I'm gonna leave y'all with 5 reasons why God tests us. 1, to develop our character.
That's right.
2, to demonstrate the nature of our character.
Wow.
3, to allow God to demonstrate the strength he has made available to us.
My God.
4, to test us. And 5, to discipline and correct us. Y'all pray my strength in the Lord.